There are a few things you do not talk about on the internet: money, politics, and religion. And we are going to tackle one of those today. I'm a little skeptical about talking about such a thing, but I feel like people have been sort of bashing one side and, really not playing a fair game. I came across this guy, Milo Yiannopoulos, or this guy we'll call him Milo Yiannopoulos, who is a professional provocateur, as he will say. And I think some of his points are very well spoken. He's very good at arguing his point, and I'm not gonna lie, I was drinking the Kool-Aid there for a little while. But this guy I came across, I hope he doesn't mind me using his video. I mean, he uses someone else's video, so I feel like Videoception kind of makes this transformative work. Anyways, this dude sat down, and Joe Rogan talked to Milo, and they had a conversation about religion and whatnot. And again, you usually don't talk about that on the internet, but I figured I would tackle that, and we would look at what this guy said as well as Joe Rogan and Milo, and we would kind of break that apart, sort of open this up for a discussion maybe. I think it'd be kind of nice to get maybe a younger person's perspective, and I tend to think my judgment isn't as clouded by having to join one side, and so yeah, I think that's part of that. So let's watch the video, shall we? I got them headphones on. Make sure I hear this in the highest quality possible. Here we go.
Joe Rogan had Breitbart writer Milo Yiannopoulos on his podcast, and they got into a pretty heated back and forth on the issue of Christian values.
Everywhere that doesn't have a strong Christian heritage is a fucked up place with bad morals.
That's a ridiculous statement. Everywhere that doesn't have Judeo-Christian values is a fucked up place.
I think that, yes, I think it should be perfectly reasonable, respectable thing to say that our culture is better. I believe our culture is better than everywhere else in the world.
Culture of Christians.
I think
Christians are running around doing ketamine and fucking each other.
European and American culture, which is based on Judeo-Christian values, is better than other cultures. I think it's uncontroversial to say so.
But what's based on Judeo-Christian values about being a good person?
Ultimately, our
It has
sense,
nothing to do
our
with
sense
the
of right and
myths
wrong comes
involved.
from the Bible.
What?
It does.
What comes from the Bible?
Ultimately, our sense of right and wrong comes from the Bible.
Our sense of right
and
wrong.
I think your
you
sense
think
of...
there's the only...
All right, we're going to pause here. 58 seconds in, all right? So, you can see, I think we can safe to say that Joe Rogan is the atheist in this party, or maybe we don't know what he is. But he is not what Milo is, and what Milo is, from what I've seen, and from what I've known in past about him, is that he's a religious person. Joe is the non-religious person in this argument. Now he's talking about our core values as people come from the Bible, and I think he's got a good point in that. The Bible and religion in general is something we have spread across the world, and it's sort of given us our sense of right and wrong. You don't go around killing people. It's a moral thing, obviously, and I think those morals have been instilled partially by the Bible as well as religion. Just a general niceness, maybe. I think that's a fairly safe statement. But let's keep watching.
way that a person could have ethics and morals and treat each other well.
No, I didn't say the only way.
Don't you think that people understand what's good and what's bad? Listen, if we're going to have a conversation, we can't keep talking over each other like this. When someone's trying to make a point about something that's complex like this, if you...
Okay, I'm going to time you out one more time. So, Joe is the one interrupting here. Right? Like if you didn't understand that exchange right there, Joe completely interrupted his guest, Milo. I guess guest Milo, the other person, right? It doesn't really matter. And then turns around and says, if we're having a conversation, we need to stop interrupting each other, which seems a little hypocritical to me. But I mean, I understand what he's saying. It is a very complex issue, and you back and forth at each other. No one gets anything done if you just start yelling like a bunch of 11-year-olds, right? But I just kind of find that a little bit funny, right? Maybe it's just me. Whatever. All right, let's continue.
You think that the only way for a person to have ethics or an understanding of each other or compassion for each other is to rely on ancient myths that are easily scientifically disproven? Well, that's what Christian...
All right, here we are, stopping again. I think now it is safe to say, with beyond a shadow of a doubt, that Joe Rogan is not a a religious person in any sense, right? And I also think his statement of, myths that are easily disproven is a very blanket statement, right? Because it seems to me that atheists in general are very light-skinned people, very glass box, easy to shatter the reality, and they're very sensitive about you not agreeing with them. That seems to be an overarching thing that I've seen in today's culture. It seems almost as if like homosexuality, atheism is some sort of moral betterness, and that I don't know why we're putting those people on pedestals the way we are now. As far as easily disproven, books, like music, anything, and I've always said is that, it allows for lyrical interpretation, textual interpretation. If you read something and say, oh, well, that can be disproven science, well, then you're going to see, if you go in with the mindset of seeing that, even though you may think, I'm being very, non-conscious, of what I think, that simply isn't true, right? Everyone has a bias towards something, whether we want to admit it or not. So that statement, I feel, is a little interesting. Getting back to the textual thing, if you go into something looking for the religious values or whatever you may be looking for, you're going to find that as well. So this is both sides of the coin, that you find what you're looking for on either side, whether you're looking for, against Jesus or for Jesus, sort of thing. You know what I'm saying? So, moving on, I guess.
Christianity is.
No, I didn't say that. I
Well,
said
that's
that
what the Bible is.
said that the specific set of values that you have is influenced more than you would like to admit by your Judeo-Christian heritage.
It's influenced
That's a little
by
bit true,
There are
right?
certain
That's a little
things
bit
that
true,
I think
so.
all of us have.
what you are.
I mean, I might take it to
who
extremes,
you are, but who you are. Being a gay
It's not
man
who I am. It's
that's
how I behave.
promiscuous.
It's what I do.
But that is prohibited in the Bible.
Yes, but I agree that it would be better if I didn't behave like this, and if I could
Do you
choose to
really?
be
So
heterosexual,
you're a
I would do so.
self-loathing homosexual.
No, and I won't have this. You need to read a wonderful essay by Brett.
No, I don't need to read shit.
Milo is
I need to know
upset
what the
right
fuck
now.
you're saying.
Okay, so Brett Easton
Because
Ellis
what you're saying is who you are is
No, it's not who
it's
you.
prohibited
It's not
in the
who
Bible.
you are, because I don't think my sexuality is an important component
It's a
of my
huge part of you. You talk about it all the time.
Well, I
it's
talk-
a massive
talk about
part
it,
of
talk
what
about
we've talked about on the show.
I think
It comes up anytime you want to make a funny point. It comes up anytime you
true.
want
I
to
do rely
define
on
your
it. I do rely on it for humor,
sexuality
don't I?
or your urges or
I do rely on it for
your
humor.
decadence.
I think people-
you
I think
jump
people-
to it because
I
I
think-
think it's you.
Well, I think people leap to the most different thing about themselves, or the most unusual thing about themselves, anytime they want to be funny or be, black. That's why black comedians talk about being black a lot. Chris Rock always talks about, blacks and.
That is true. They do
It's
do
why, Muslim comedians only ever talk about Islam. It's, gay comedians talk about being gay. I think that's you go
Fair
to
statement.
that because it's the most different, funny thing about you. It's a sort of a form of laziness, I suppose. So I don't know that's particularly relevant, but.
No, wait, listen. It's absolutely relevant.
Well,
You're
I
supposed
make
to
a
be
joke out of it,
stoned
but if
to
I could,
death in a lot of
if I
cultures.
could, well, in Muslim cultures, not in
Yeah.
ours. Not in ours. And it's only the Muslim world that does that now. It was 11
Well,
countries.
they're the
some
last
people.
ones that continue the grand old tradition of killing gay people. But that shit's been around forever. I mean,
Well-
what does it say in the Bible about a man lying with another man?
I think if I could, I mean, if I
Says
if
death,
I could choose,
right?
if I could choose, I wouldn't be.
Whoa! Time me out one more time here. I'm gonna actually clarify something right there. What it's the actual quote of people always point to homosexuality in the Bible, whether for or against or anything like that in any discussion, and they always get the quote wrong. And nothing is more upsetting than getting your facts wrong, right? So let me just throw this out at you, right? Take it for what you will. The actual quote, I believe, is I wish I knew Bible verses. I just looked it up too. I think it's like Leviticus 31. Yeah, it is definitely Leviticus 31. Maybe 1930. I think it might be 1930. I'm a liar. Anyways, so the man that lies with another man is an abomination. That sort of thing. The quote is longer than that. I'm paraphrasing. It does say that. I don't remember where in there it says stoned to death. It may though. Don't know. So just thought I'd point that out to you guys.
Homosexual.
Really?
That doesn't make me self-loathing.
So if someone came out with a
Doesn't
pill,
make me
if
self-loathing.
Pfizer
Came out with a pill to make
certainly
me
fucking
straight.
does.
No, it doesn't.
You
no,
don't
it
think
doesn't.
it makes you self-loathing
Absolutely
to
not.
hate a part of
All right, we're gonna stop this one more time here. I know you might be getting upset when you stop in this video, and I promise I'll let it play for another 2 minutes after this. I think Joe is arguing self-loathing wrongly. Here's why I think that. When you think self-loathing, loathing is extreme hatred, right? So self-hatred, self-loathing. And Milo is very, he's being interrupted, which is kind of funny, again, hypocritical. But Joe is saying that, you're self-loathing, which is kind of weird because only you know if you're self-loathing, right? It's like, tell me something about me that I don't know. It's sort of what Joe's doing. Like, you hate yourself because you're religious. And he's like, no, I don't. But it's like, yes, you do. You don't understand your feelings. So that seems a little bit crazy to me, right? That someone is so adamantly for something else that they're willing to twist in a few other things to make that so, right? It's kind of interesting how that works. So, I will shut up now. We can continue on.
What you
I
are?
don't hate a part of what I am. I love all of me, but if I could choose to be even better, then I would be.
So you'd be better if you were straight?
Yes.
Wow.
Anybody
So
would be.
If
Any gay
Johnson &
person would be
Johnson
better if they
came
were straight.
along and had an anti-gay pill,
Yeah.
you would take it?
Well, it would be career suicide, but I probably would, yeah.
So
we're
you
back
want
to
to
this
change
guy.
the fact that you're gay because you don't think it's equal to being straight, but nobody's allowed to call you a self-hater or a self-loather. If that's not self-hatred, I don't know what is.
You don't know what it is, and I'm gonna be honest. The point of this was not to argue Joe. It was to argue this guy, because this guy I think is wrong on a lot of levels right now. Right? He is arguing clearly, blindfoldingly for Joe Rogan. Maybe it's because he has a man crush on him. He watched him, UFC or whatever. I don't know, but clearly this guy, along with Joe, do not know the definition of self-hatred. Self-hatred means, wait for it, you hate yourself. There you go. Milo does not seem like the kind of guy that hates himself. In fact, if you go to his Twitter page right now, at Nero, I think, or something like that, right? You just look up Milo Yiannopoulos. Hard to spell. It's on your screen, though. Anyways, you do that sort of thing, right? And he's not a self-hatred person. He's really not. And I've looked into both of these guys. I've done a little bit of research, right? None of these guys seem like self-haters, and they all seem fairly balanced in their minds of what they're saying. And I think they're being a little skewed by trying to be a provocateur, trying to really get you with what you're saying. And I guess Milo will say that straight to your face. This guy, on the other hand, may not.
You know how somebody who doesn't self-hate would answer that question? No, I'm perfectly fine with being gay, and I'd stay gay. But you didn't answer like that. You want to know why? Because you self-hate. Because Joe Rogan's a...
Stop. Whoa. Back this train up. I know. This is about to get real right here. That fucking smile you just did right there. Come on. You're better than that, right? Like, that's a little fucking stupid.
100% right. So to the idea
Joe Rogan's 100%
that
right, he just said.
Christian culture is superior.
All right, here we go.
As he said everywhere that doesn't have Judeo-Christian values is fucked up. 2 words. The space.
Faggot.
Space isn't one of the words, by the way. Enlightenment.
Fuck off. All right, listen. Now is it bad I'm getting upset at a video that I already know what's going to mostly happen? I didn't watch this far because I thought I'd save it for you guys, but this guy is now taking what is a serious topic and dumbing it down to his playfulness because he doesn't have an actual argument. He's just kind of reciting someone else's facts. Whether they're wrong or not, I'm not arguing that point. I'm simply saying he's just reciting them as a puppet. He does not have his own opinion thus far.
The Enlightenment. Christian culture was the Inquisition, the Crusades, burning witches, trying to pray away the Black Plague and other diseases.
I think this dude has missed one thing. Very drastically, and a very large miscalculation on his point, I would say. He missed the fact that, let's go to the praying away the plague thing. The whole point of religion is to pray to a higher power because he's the one that controls all of this. He's the one that made it. He's the one that can help you and the one that can save you. That's the whole point of this, right? That's what religion is. I think he grossly misinterpreted what he was saying right there. Because, yeah, that's what they were doing. The Crusades, that was to take back their own land, because that was their holy land, and they wanted that back. The first crusade, one of 7, the first one actually worked. The other 7 did not work. There was a big war about it. They were fighting for years and years, burning witches and all that. I can't say. I'm too ignorant on the subject, so I'm just going to keep my mouth closed there. You know, you may think that's childish of me or something, but I swear to God, a little too ignorant on that you know, about burning witches and whatnot. I don't remember any witch burning in the Bible, but I mean, I don't know, right? So let's just continue on.
Jesus. And then Christian was beaten over the head and into submission by modernity and secular liberal values and science.
That stupid fucking face again. Did you guys see it? It came back again. Ah, God, I hate that face. Anyways, let's break it down one more time. And I think, you know what? I think we can stop here, right? Because I don't know what this dude's going to say next. If we skip through, it's probably just another 4 minutes of him talking stupid. Let me break this down in the most unbiased way I can. Which, as I just said a while ago, is going to be very difficult. But this dude, this whole science versus religious thing has been an issue for as long as man has lived, right? That has been an issue, and I'll probably do another video on it and just sit down and have a talk about it. But this dude is so wholeheartedly and so, you know, around this thing, much like Joe Rogan was, that he cannot even look at the other viewpoint, and you can judge based on that stupid fucking smile he's got, right? He's like, I am right, and and he's not open to anything else, which I guess there's nothing wrong with that. Ignorance and arrogance go together very well, but I think a catastrophe, wow, words, all right, it's a big miscalculation. That's a good word to put in there. So basically, science came along and said, wait. We were, the world's 4.2 billion years old based on carbon dating, which is something that's exponential, and, well, we won't go there. And religion was founded on the best-selling nonfiction book ever, right? And I'm telling you facts. I may be swinging a little one way. Have you haven't figured that out yet? Another thing he brings up, one thing that, I'm going to go off the rails here. One thing I don't like what people say, and I've seen a lot of people say over the years, well, religion never has a set sort of, how old is the earth? Some say 10,000, some say 7,000, some say 13,000. They don't know. That's 5,000-year difference. What's kind of funny is that when I was a kid, we were taught that 3.9 billion years old. That's all the earth was. 3.9 billion years old. And in my lifetime, it's gone from 3.9 to 4.2 to 4.6 billion years. So now we've got a gap of 0.8 billion, which is 800 million years old. And people are getting upset at, religious people, right? Because apparently there's some higher power and they can condescend, right? That they sway 5,000 years when other people are swinging 800 million years. That seems a little outrageous to me. That seems not from any standpoint other than you're not being open and fair about that argument. You're not liking what you're hearing, so you're just throwing whatever you can at them until they just just fucking shut up and go away. You know what I'm saying? That seems a little interesting to me. Anyways, I thought I'd show you guys this video. I'm going to cut it right here, 18 minutes in. I'd like to sit down and do an actual, religious debates, science versus religious sort of thing. I think that'd be very fun. Maybe I could find someone else that'd like to do it with me. I don't know. Let me just point out one more thing. Atheism is a lot like another religion, except their belief is no belief, a non-belief in a higher power. So it's you can't pretend like you're not religious but we'll talk about that later. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this dude doesn't get mad for me using his video. The copyright system on YouTube is shit. But I hope he doesn't. If you guys enjoyed the video, please share it with your friends. If you'd like to have a discussion about it, say so down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a nice day.